Hello everyone, we are here, we are live, and we are ready to go and ready to start this time for real, getting into probe frenzy. So just to sort of remind people where we're at, I'm in the administrative building. I want to just remind people what strategies I have in play because they really are going to define the next several episodes. First, I've got Impactors, and Impactors rewards me handsomely and penalizes me mercilessly if I don't do this and quit this contract or quit this strategy before it's done. And what it wants me to do is impact 3 different celestial bodies. It says celestial bodies very specifically, not planets necessarily. So we're going to pick off the easy ones, the Mun and the Minmus, and that should happen today. And then I'm thinking for the third one to be heading towards Eve and doing an impactor with Eve. And then once this is done, I'm going to shift right away into planetary flybys after that, which has me doing flybys of 3 different planets this time. So over the next few episodes, we'll be visiting a variety of the inner planets, albeit probably briefly. And in preparation for all that, I picked up also the probe frenzy strategy, which penalizes me for crewed launches. Crewed launches, their costs of them are twice what they were before, but I get increases in probe transmission science, probe recovery science, in funds and science from uncrewed milestones. I also get bonuses for that, so I think that makes it worthwhile. I'm not 100% sure these science bonuses, I'm not sure that they work with Kerbalism. I'm not 100% sure that they do, but I know that these milestone bonuses do work with Kerbalism. Okay, let's get into what's going to be happening today. Let's in fact go right over to Mission Control. And yeah, it is April Fool's Day, so if we happen to see some neon cats here and there, well, we know what that's going to be about. But I'll start with active contracts. One, of course, is the Impactor probes. The other one here is Kerbal Academy Flight School. This is to fly a course, but you have to do it with specific Kerbals, and what it does is it rewards you with some experience for the Kerbals, and this is specifically to reward Valentina. Valentina had a rough time in the early going of this particular campaign. She had kind of a mountaineering accident, has been out of circulation, but is going to be cleared within the next few days, which will be during this stream, for light duty, I mean, and by that I mean within Kerbin's atmosphere. So what this contract says to do is to take Jebediah and Valentina, put them in a plane, and fly a particular course. Now, the plane that I have so far, the Juno 2, that's the name of it, can only have 1 Kerbal in it. So what we got to do is build a new plane that can hold more than 1 Kerbal, and I do have some new aerodynamic parts, so that should help. The strategies are coming, Lost Max asked, where's the strategies coming from? The strategies are coming from the Strategia mod that I was showing just a little bit earlier. But let's continue on with contracts. There are some additional contracts I want to pick up. Under giving aircraft purpose, achieve an airspeed of 220 meters per second. That's going to be easy enough. Fly an airplane to an altitude of 10 kilometers. That also should be easy enough. There are some other ones here that I will tackle at some future date, but I think those will fit in nicely with what I'll have Jebediah and Valentina doing. Just looking at other things, I've unlocked a bunch of new ScanSat parts. I'm not going to get into them today, but just to sort of, there are a bunch of ScanSat contracts available. I've not done any mapping around Minmus, so that will be coming into play fairly soon. Plus, I got some additional equipment for around the Mun and Kerbin. So just to sort of keep that on the back burner, that will be coming in the future episode. But one more I was looking at for today is down here. I love these really easy ones. Position the HECS 4 in an adjusted orbit of Kerbin. Here are some orbital parameters. I went and took a look at what it expected me to do. It was just a very small change in, I can't remember if it was the apoapsis or periapsis, one of the two. I worked out what the likely cost would be. It'd only be 26 meters per second. The HECS 4, which is just an old satellite from a long time ago, can do that easily. I mean, free stuff. I'm going to grab that one for sure. So we'll grab that. We grab those. Did I grab those other ones? I did grab the other ones. And we're off. So the plan today, well, let's get out to the HECS 4. Let's just do that right away. And then we will do the Impactor missions, impacting the moon, impacting Minmus, and then we'll build us a plane. And I think that will likely cover us for today. But brand new jet with some science stuff. But where's the HECS 4 on this? Oh, how about if I select probes rather than relays? There we go. HECS 4 is in here somewhere. Here it is. Here's the HECS 4. Let's get out there. Let's do this mission. I always have to be careful with picking up these adjust the orbit missions. I want to make sure that the satellite has enough delta V in order to do it. I don't want to grab one and then find out I don't have the fuel for it. Just adjusting contracts here. But this one's going to be easy peasy. And also I haven't, most of my satellites that are in orbits are actually in relays that are very specific orbits, and I don't want to end up moving those around. But this one will be easy. So if we take a look, here is its current orbit. The blue one, this is the orbit we're shooting for, so it's just a very slight change. Periapsis here. I mean, come on, this is... I was predicting this to be about 26 meters per second. Let's see how close we get. So my new apoapsis needs to be 4,537. So let's see. Let's do this. Is it going down? There we go. Now I went way too far. I'm not very good at... Okay. I'm not very good at the draggy bits. Okay, let's see here. 4,537. And I'm just looking at the predicted apoapsis over here on the side. 530. That's 37. That's darn close enough. And 26.2 meters per second. Right on what I would have predicted it to be. Excellent. Let's put that right on the periapsis there. All right. So that burn's coming up in just a couple of hours. We got nothing else on the go, so let's just do that. So where's Kerbin so we can watch ourselves go around? There's Kerbin there. Put the view on free. It always looks better. Free views, I think. And oh, I have to do this one. I almost opened up my Kerbalism, or not my Kerbalism, my KOS terminal. And ooh, more science. And forgot that this thing does not have a KOS computer on it, so I actually do have to do this manual-like. But that's okay. Oh, we should really reduce the thrust. It's predicting the burn of 0.6. There, now it's a 5-second burn. That's better. Get ourselves a little closer. Okay, and we'll just start the burn, and all I want to watch are these orbital parameters. When they go green, we're done. I mean, low-lying fruit, you always want to grab these low-lying fruit when it comes to contracts. There, that's it. Don't even have to do the whole burn. It's already close enough. It went green. Got to wait the obligatory 10 seconds. And this feels like a long 10 seconds. There it goes. We're done. All right. Excellent. We can now get rid of our contracts plus window. We can get rid of this. We can reorient this back onto its normal vector. It's not doing anything. It has... I've completely forgotten even what the purpose of this thing was, but it's doing okay. Oh, let's turn... I'm noticing the solar panels... I have a window that I have to aim at the sun here for the solar panels to work. There we go. We're good. All right. Let's get back to the Space Center. And we will get ourselves some probes going. Specifically, we're going to go build something that can go to Minmus. Let's warp this to sunrise. Just notice it's nighttime. All right. Let's get in there. And when I say something that can get to Minmus, the costs of going to Minmus and going to the moon are so similar, it's really easy to build something that's capable of doing both without really wasting too much. Okay, so we're going to start with I think my best probe body is still the Octo, right? The Octo's better than the HECS? Or is the HECS better than the... No, the HECS is the better one. There we go. Haven't gotten much into the probe bodies. Okay, and we'll... I like the gold. Okay, let's start right away thinking about science, because there is some new science that... Oh no, this guy doesn't have new science. It's old science. We are going to, let's see here, configure uncrewed experiments. This thing has a tendency, notice when I hold it over this menu, this disappears. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so science at Minmus. This is going to Minmus. We've never gone to Minmus, so that means all of our science is available. So we got the telemetry report. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to do the site experiment. Oh no, not the site. The site experiment takes an hour to perform, and as this is going to be an impactor, it likely won't be alive long enough, especially in near space around Kerbin or around Minmus, to warrant the light experiment or the site experiment. That's better to be done in orbit, but I do have the light experiment, which only takes 10 seconds to perform. Yeah, that's all that is. So that configures the probe. We'll start both of those off. We can now close this because it's really getting on my nerves. We can also do, going to our science here, a temperature scan. So we'll put on the thermometer and we'll set that one going. And we can also do the Geiger counter radiation scan. This is the science that comes from Kerbalism. And anything else is really not worth our time. There is other sciences, but they really are involved getting into orbit, and this thing's going to be an impactor because that's what the impactor thing wants me to do. And okay, communications. We are going to be a little bit further away, so instead of one communitron, I'm just going to put on 2. You know what, just do it like that for now. We'll tweak things a little bit more later. And let's take a look at science, make sure this is all oakley dokley. Oh, it's going to need salt here. Let's put these both on here for now. Oh, and silly. There. And also, of course, you know what, I'll put it underneath. Going to need the KOS computer core because we can run KOS stuff. Let's extend. Okay, that's being simulated. So it's consuming 1.74 units of electricity per second. That can easily be covered by just a row of OXATs. I'm realizing I put this thermometer in a dumb spot. Let's just stick all this stuff on and we'll worry about cleaning it up in a little bit. I'm just going to surround this with OXATs. That can easily cover the electrical costs. And something that somebody pointed out in the comments that I was missing is right here. There is a little indicator here for calculating the amount of electrical generation that's going on. And its default is this one. It's in full sunlight. And it's assuming 100% production from all of these solar panels, which clearly is not possible. I got into the math of calculating, well, you know, if this one's full on and this one's on an angle and these ones are in the shadow, how much electrical generation I'll get. But actually, Kerbalism built that in for us. If I click it once, it's now in the sunlight with an estimated solar panel output, which takes into account that some of them will be in the shadow and some of them will be in an angle. And notice how it adjusts how much electricity is being produced. In full sunlight, if you had sort of 360 degrees of sunlight, it would do 2.1 units of electric charge per second, but in a simulated one, it's now 4.29 electric charge per second. Again, can easily cover what it needs. And then you can also say, well, how much is it going to do in the dark? Which is really handy for showing how long your batteries are going to last. So for instance, if this thing's in the shadow, the batteries will only last, the duration here is 10 minutes and 1 second. I don't like that, so I'm going to get, I'm thinking probably just, you know what, let's put an Oscar B underneath it. And then put some batteries on here. So what do a couple of these do? Just 2. And now this will last for 30 minutes in the dark, and that should be absolutely fine to run all of the experiments if we happen to be running the experiments in the dark. So that's pretty cool. And let's see now, how much delta V do we got with this? Let's stick an ant engine on the bottom. And the ant engine gives us 1,687 meters per second of vacuum delta V. To get the Minmus, you only need about 930 meters per second. Again, remember, we're not going for an orbit. We're just going for an impact. So I'm just going to bring this down. That's 957 meters per second. That's a little close. So let's just go up a little bit. That's 1,118. That should be easy. Thrust to weight ratio is over half. So that's fine. There we go. We are on the verge of actually having ourselves a probe here already. Let's do a little bit of adjusting. And put some... have these antennas come out like this. Now we're into making it look nicer. That looks pretty good. And lights. Can't forget the lights. Let's put on 4. Make them gray to match the Oscar. And we'll make these blinky amber lights. Blink on. Turn the blink period down to about half a second. Oh, and let's put these in a more sensible spot. One there. One there. And seriously, I think we're onto it. And oh, the calculator also tells you how long you're in the shadow of Kerbin. Yeah, if you start fiddling with the orbits, the only issue is that the orbit options are low orbit, or I got a comment from Philip that it will also calculate how much time you should expect to spend in the night if you're in high orbit or low orbit. I have a spreadsheet that does that, so I tend to just trust the spreadsheet. This thing's going to go in no orbit, so should be good. Okay, jeepers, I think this is it, believe it or not. I don't think there's anything else I need to think about. So this is going to be the Minmus one. I told you this was going to be fast. Save that. Let's get into action groups. We'll put the antenna on action group 0. Toggle those antennas, and then we'll retract them. We don't need them. And yeah, all this thing needs is a booster. What's the mass of it? Mass of it's only 399 kilograms, so I just need to find a booster. I can get that into orbit. That shouldn't be a problem. I'll go to my saved boosters over here. What is about 400 kilograms? It's arranged G's by mass. That always makes this easier. Okay, well, the Swivel 1 booster is my smallest one, and it can do 930 kilograms, so that's pretty easy. Let's switch this off for a smaller decoupler. That's a stack separator. That one. That's a separator. Come on. That one. There we go. There we go. Oh, and a fairing to enclose all this in. There we go. There we go. This is the whole shebang. Yeah. We're looking at the thing. Let's see here. Just adjust staging a little bit. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. There. You want to be that way, be that way. Gosh, dang it. Let's see. This can go here. This can go here. Let's unstage the fairing. So the fairing's not in the staging diagram because we'll use an action group. We'll use action group 5 to deploy the fairing. We'll put the fairing onto clamshell deploy. We'll up the force a little bit and go to 4 sides. Okay, let's start going through all this. So contracts, The only contract that's involved is the Impactor probe contract. Oh, impact uncrewed probes on 3 different planets/moons. They don't count. Oh, that changes things. Ah, so there's why I have the fine print on here. Notice that although things like Gilly and Ike are on the list, they don't have on the list the Mun or Minmus. Okay. Minmus and the Mun are moons. Okay, so I thought I could get away with something. I'm not getting away with something. Looks like we're going to be going to Eve or Duna sooner than I would have thought. Okay, so we're going to have to go to Eve, Moho, Duna. I don't think I have the antennas to get out to Dres. I certainly can't get to Elu, and I have no idea why Joule isn't on this list. Interesting. All right, no problem. We're still going to fire this thing off to Minmus. Now that it's built, I'm going to do it. And then we'll adapt it to be able to go to Eve. Control should be fine. Probe has been configured. Science should be good. Power generation is good. Electrical storage is good. Antenna strength is good. Antenna speed is good. It should be fine. Data storage, that's a good point. Let's just up the data capacity. I'm sure that's fine. Propulsion's fine. RCS is irrelevant. Parachutes are irrelevant. Thermal protection is irrelevant. Lights I've done. Upgrades. The ant engine I'm sure is fine. Here, let's get in here. Ant engine has 77 ignitions, so I'm sure it's fine. There we go. Thrust awaits. Oh, I gotta adjust the thrust await at launch. That's why I got me in my checklist. Let's get rid of this. Have to come down a little bit. I got the question, how do you put on the custom checklist into here? You have to get into the config files of this mod, which is the Werner checker mod, which I find kind of unfortunate with this mod that there is no interface for you to do this directly. So you actually have to get into the files itself, look at the configs, see how they work, and adjust them accordingly. It's not that hard, but it is kind of a pain. Fairing deploy, I've dealt with. Staging is fine. So I think we're all good here. A little bit more thrust. There we go. All right, I'm thinking I'm just going to launch this thing. We're just going to send this on its way to Minmus. Sure, why not? It's only 12,000 Kerb bucks. If there's something I overlooked, then I got a contract complete. What contract's complete? Oh yeah, of course, the HECS 4. Okay, let's flat out just launch this. I want to go to Minmus. I've not sent anything to Minmus yet. I don't think this is going to help with the Impactor probes, but that's okay. So, what we're going to do here... Oh, I didn't put in my boot script. Okay, that's fine. So we got to switch this to 0. Now, I remember thinking... I wrote a script about launching at specific times. And I thought I modified it to do for Minmus, but I don't. I think it's one of the situations. This is for if you. It's confusing, but to get your launch windows when you want to go into an inclined orbit in a very specific plane. And I thought I made one specifically for Minmus, but I think maybe I just thought that I did. So okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. So I'm not really making sense. So we're on our way to Minmus. Let's set Minmus as a target. Minmus, unlike the moon, is in an inclined orbit. So what you want to do, or at least what I like to do, there's two ways to deal with it. One is to launch into an equatorial parking orbit, launch yourself out towards Minmus and make a plane change along the way. But the cheaper way to do it is to launch at either the equatorial ascending or descending nodes for Minmus's orbit, which are where Minmus's orbit crosses Kerbin's equator. So what I'm going to do, you can see where those are, and I really got to write a launch script that can do this for me automatically, or a KOS script. But if you turn it so that the moon's orbit is edge on, you're now right over the equator, and then if you adjust your camera so Minmus's orbit is edge on, and you center your view on Kerbin, you can just time warp until your launch site is right in the center of all this. Let's just zoom out here. And zoom to here. Okay, and go a little bit further. So we're right on the equatorial ascending node of Minmus's orbit. And now what I want to do is launch myself, so I'm going to an inclination that's 6 degrees towards the north. And my launch script can handle that just fine. So I'm going to run my launch script. I want to go into a 6-degree inclination. I want to go into a parking orbit at 80 kilometers. And all I got to do is run it. And off it goes. Hopefully everything will go fine. And we're off. So this thing is on its way to Minmus. Hopefully. So you can see it's picked a heading of 83 degrees. So it's a little bit, 7 degrees north of directly east. I always want to go a little bit past, you know, because you got to actually pull the prograde vector towards you. Otherwise, yeah, this thing is just off. It's nice now having, because I have my tracking station to level 3, I will always now have the Kerbal Engineer data available here all the time, whether I have a chip on it or not, which is nice. And this is, although I've used this booster a lot, I did this untested. I think it should be fine. Hey there, Javier. I'm glad you were able to join us. It has been a long time. Yeah, we are definitely going to... I thought with the... just to sort of help people catch up here a bit. Let's put this here. There. I thought with this Impactor contract, because it says impact uncrewed vessels on 3 different planets / moons, I thought that would include Minmus and the moon. But as you can see, that's not on the list. What's weird is Jool and its moons are not on the list either, though Edu is. So I don't know, maybe that's just a mistake that the Mun and Minmus are not on the list. We'll find out, because this thing is on its way to Minmus, whether it's going to satisfy this contract or not. And if it doesn't count the Mun or Minmus, fine, I'll go to Eve and Gilly and Moho. That'd be a good 3. That's a good trio, because I can go to Eve and then hit Illy. Oh no, I can't do an Impactor to Eve and then go to Gilly. That kind of, like... I'm forgetting what an Impactor means. Oh, this is not good. Those two should be together. All right, here we are. So where are we at? We're just about at 50 kilometers. At 50 kilometers, we should lose the fairings. There they go. A little bit of bounce on a tail fin, but that seemed to be okay. They are, Ixen from the Venya says that the Mun and Minmus are not on the list because of the previous Mun program and Minmus program that came before it. But I've not done the Minmus program yet. I was saving that one. But yeah, they might have excluded the Mun or the Minmus because of the, they might have considered that just too easy which I can understand. Just time warping till we're in space here. There we go. It's setting up its orbital insertion. Those lights on? Lights are on. Yep. Let's get ourselves a little closer. Whoa! Just notice it's starting to burn significantly early because it's really going to nerf the thrust on this engine. I have this set up so that it doesn't go to full throttle here. It goes to a specific thrust to weight ratio. Because often these engines have a crazy thrust to weight ratio by the time they're at the top. If they've been listening, look how low the thrust is. I think it keeps it at 0.9, if I'm not mistaken. Little tiny probe. This booster is actually, if anything, too big for this probe. Should have, yeah, it's going to have a lot of fuel left over. That's okay. We'll use it to get to Minmus. That's okay. Oh, no, finishing the, Ikeson says that finishing the Mun and Minmus program is a prerequisite. Is that not true? And that, no, it's not, because I've specifically been avoiding the Minmus program one. So you're able to grab this before you can do either of those two if you wanted to. And I also looked very carefully that the Minmus program strategy won't be void by me doing an impactor. It would be void if I went and did an orbit about Minmus, but not with an impactor. Okay, we are inserted into our parking orbit. So we'll put this onto a vector here just for solar panel exposure. And so the whole idea of this is to notice how this blue orbit is now in the same plane as Minmus's orbit. So that means that getting out to Minmus will be now a lot easier. I don't know. I might have to make a plane change. We'll see how it goes. This should be about a 925-ish, 920, something in that ballpark. Okay, I can see I'm encountering Minmus. I can see I'm going to have to make a bit of an adjustment. That's okay. I'm coming a little bit below Minmus. That's all right. Not quite in the same plane. We're off by... Oh, that does lying to me. Okay. Let's see here. We'll adjust the timing here a little bit. Oh, that lost a lot more than that. Other way. Okay, just need a little bit more. Ooh, that was a lot too much. Let's come back. So we're going just towards the south of Minmus, so we'll make the tiniest corrections on our way. Actually, you know what? We got so much fuel. This isn't the most efficient way to do it, but why don't I just add some normal... Nah, you know what? No, forget it. That's dumb. Zero out that normal. Boom. Turn off those. Okay. There we go. There's our burn. We're not going to use this. Because there will be a staging event, as you can see, partway through this. There will be a staging event, and my KOS script can't handle staging. So we're going to have to do this manual-like. Okay, here we go. We're a minute from the maneuver. Oh, I should have nerfed that thrust. I don't want to nerf it now, though. Maybe I can. Let's nerf this thrust. What's the thrust to weight ratio on this? 5.1. That's stupid. There we go. That's much better. The thrust to weight was over 5 there. That's berserk. Now, did that screw this up? This timing? Hope not. I think it should be okay. You can't see the number. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that's a lot more sane. Okay, I'm just going to go to the staging event, and then we'll do some physics time warping too. Okay, so... There. Stage, you stinker. There it goes. And a lot less thrust to weight on this little ant engine. So we'll go to a 2x speed to make this go a little bit quicker. Oh wow, I should probably turn down the reaction wheel. This is a very, very little probe. Here, get ready to reduce throttle. You can come up on Minmus really fast. See what I mean? Okay, we'll get your fingers in the right spot. Okay, so we're gonna need to make a tiny little correction here. About halfway. Come on, it's not giving me the dot. That's the way you're gonna be, is it? Let's get back on here. Add a maneuver. Focus our view back onto Minmus. This is going to be very small. You know, a little bit radial the other way. And again, we're just going for a hit. That's all we got to do. So there it is. That's our hit. All right, it's 10 meters per second, and there's still 561 meters per second left in this thing, so it ain't gonna be a problem. All right, let's get out there. Let's do it. So yeah, it's coming up in a day and 2 hours. I want to just do it. Zooming away, already past the moon. Okay, get this onto here. There we go, and we're going to turn down the thrust because this is a very small burn. A little more than that. And you don't have to wait for this to get to 0 because this isn't very time dependent. So just going to do this right now, and here, turn this around this way. Just going to bring this. Boop. There we go. All right, and again, just adjustments just for solar panels. And really that's it. We're just going to hit Minmus. So let's get time warp to here. Whoop, where's Minmus? Where are you coming, Minmus? Where's Minmus? Oh, wait, no, this is ending early, I think. Valentina has been cleared for light duty. Awesome. Awesome. So we can now start to put Valentina into airplanes. Very happy with that. Okay, let's warp to here again. Again, we'll keep an eye out for Minmus. Should be coming out. Oh, there it is. Here comes Minmus. For the first time. Oh, got my seismic scale. Oh, look at all this stuff coming in. This is still probes around the moon, still doing their job. And this thing, speaking of doing its job, should now be collecting all kinds of temperature data and radiation data and other stuff. I think it actually already had done, the telemetry report's already been done. We'll just transmit that stuff away, but really it's just hit and Minmus. That's all it is. So we're going to get another batch when we come into near space for Minmus, but whether it will transmit all that before we actually impact, I don't know. And then I want to see what this impactor probe thing does. Probably nothing. Probably nothing. So this is not going to be working towards any kind of contract. This is purely for the giggles and a bit of science. Okay, we should be, was it 30? When is it that you're in near space? There it is. So we're collecting some near space stuff here. Did I turn on? No, telemetry's running, yep. Oh, it's transmits. No, it's telemetry. Oh, radiation, that's right. Radiation isn't near space, far space. It's just a space. All right, we are coming in. I'm not quite sure when we'll be impacting. I can set up Kerbal Engineer to sort of tell me that, but it's just going to be, are we going to transmit all this stuff before we impact? That seems less and less likely, doesn't it? All right. Here, let's put this on here. All right, time warp is off. Yep. Okay, here we go. Boom. That is that. It is gone. Nothing happened with this contract, so yeah, I know. So there was nothing useful there. That's okay. That's okay. It just means we'll be getting ourselves to Eve just a little bit more quickly. Is that debris? Wow, some stuff just went. What do we got here? Oh, it's too far away for me to flip to. I think it's just rolling down the hills. What do we got? I can't switch to it. See, we got debris coming down here. Oh well. Let's get back to Space Center. All right. Little bit of science. I'm up to 204 science. That's enough for a node. Am I? Oh, I'm all black. Oh, I don't like the look of that. Hopefully that will get. I was waiting for it to oops. That's something in probably environmental visual enhancement mod. Let's get into research and development, and hopefully when we come back out, that problem will be gone. I got 204 science, and that is another node, and I was eyeing ahead of time, considering we're going into probe mode, this one right here. Precision propulsion, it gives me all kinds of little engines, little tanks, actually, I love all of these little engines, and I really love these tiny, itsy bitsy tiny little fuel tanks, which are great for small probes. So I'm going to grab that. Boom, done. Still black. Okay, let's get into the space plane. Let's actually warp to sunrise. That'll probably fix this up. There we go. Hello. Let's get into the space plane hangar. Okay. Actually, I was just realizing there's actually one more. We're going to build ourselves a new plane, but there's one more thing I actually do want to build. I now have things like this, the RoveMax. Let's get in here. And what I'm looking at specifically for the RoveMax, I'm going to configure it because I'm not going to do any other, I'm going to turn off all the other science because I've already done it. But science I have yet to do on the surface of Kerbin is the seismic accelerometer. Whoops. I'm just going to stick one right there. Okay. There we go. I'm having issues. And the reason why, now it's in the middle. The reason why I've not done a seismic accelerometer on the surface of Kerbin yet is because it takes 14 days and 4 hours for it to collect all of its science. So I wasn't going to just do it on a plane and then have a Kerbal sit around for that long. That'd be silly. But now what I can do is I can put this on a rover, I can drive it off the runway, I can park it and just have it collect science. I figured that would be easy enough. So let's just turn this on. So I can see here that it is going to consume just 0.048 units of electric charge per second. So easily, I'm going to put on a couple of aux-sats here. Let's put it on. It's going to be like that, is it? That's fine. Okay, do that. Rotate this way. So they're horizontal. That can easily cover the electric part of this. However, with it being 14 days, of course, it's going to spend some time in the night. So let's switch this over to dark mode. And we can see here that it will only last for 2 hours and 53 minutes during the night with no sun. So that's not good enough to get through. It's almost good enough to get through a Kerbal night, which is 3 hours. But what we'll do is we'll stick on just a couple of batteries like this. That's 4 hours? Oh, let's put on a couple more. Let's turn this way. This is going to be the world's cheapest little crappy rover. There we go. Okay, now it'll last for 5 hours during the night, so that'll be easily able to get through a Kerbal night. And obviously, if this is going to be a rover, it needs rover wheels, doesn't it? So we're going to put on some rover wheels. This is going to be a dirt simple thing. Let's actually mount them. Okay, no, turn that off. Mount them pretty high. And in fact, what I find the rovers are a smidge more stable is if you just turn them a little bit like this. So they're not straight up, but just a little bit like that. There we go. And you know what? I think what I'll do too is disable the steering on the back. That should be fine. This needs to transmit stuff, so it will need an antenna. So we'll put on a single Communitron. We'll extend that right now. There we go. And I'm honestly thinking this is all it's going to need. Looking at the different textures here. Is there a different? Oh, there are different textures for the wheels. Okay, this is ready, waiting to go. This is it. So this is the Seismic Rover. And again, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to park it. I don't think I have the robot arms yet. No, I don't. So that's all it's going to do. This is it. This is the whole thing. So Seismic Rover. Yeah. Easy peasy, lemony squeezy. Let's launch it. This won't take long. And if I wanted to, I could then drive one over to the grasslands and the highlands and stuff, but frankly, that'll just take too long. What I might end up doing once I can build some decent sized planes is, there it goes, is, I can get this out. Once I've built some decent sized planes is to drop a couple from planes, put some parachutes on it. They wouldn't be rovers, obviously. They just have landing legs, and just drop them, and it can collect some science for me. There we go. I just want to get it out of the way. Honestly, I think that's probably good enough. There we go. We're done. That's the whole thing. Put the brakes on. And it should be already collecting seismic science, and it's going to do that for the next 14.5 days. Let's get to the Space Center. That's all there is to that. Space Center. Use the McJeb Rover Autopilot. Not used. I spent so long since I remember trying McJeb years and years and years and years ago and never really going back to it. I don't know, but I can see Rover sometimes can get pretty tedious driving them around. Let's see here. Plane time. Absolutely, that's what we're doing now. This is a plane. We're going to get rid of you. And I do have new plane parts, starting with now I have the inline cockpit. And I want this to be a multi-passenger plane. And I now also have the Mark 1, finally, the Mark 1 crew cabin, which is, I think, fabulous. Now, this thing is going to be collecting some science for me. I do have a new science part that I want to show people right here. It's the atmospheric fluid variometer, or something like that. Let's stick that up there. And this is a familiar stock part, though Kerbalism has now stuck its claws into it. If I open it up, I can configure it. You can set it up to do the spectrovariometer. Oh, no, you can't. Sorry. If I go to configure this thing, there it is, it can do nothing, which is the way it's set now. I think that might be the stock. No, it's not even the stock experiment. It's doing nothing. If I click over once, it can do some atmospheric science for me, and there's some different science experiments that it can do that unfortunately the text is getting all gobbled up, so we'll look at them in just a second. Or you can do some underwater science with it, and again, the text is sort of gobbled up a little bit. I'm going to do some, or you can set it up as an atmospheric harvester to collect CO2 or oxygen or nitrogen or ammonia to do various chemical funs with, but I'm setting it up for atmospheric science. And in doing that, I now have a new button here to configure the atmospheric science. And there's different atmospheric science experiments you can do. There's the familiar press map barometer. There is the, oh, that was it. The press map barometer, which is I can get with just a, that's the stock one. But there's this new experiment called the Wing Experiment. It is the wandering investigation not on the ground. And not many takers to watch the ground zipping past so quickly. Yeah, this is a Kerbalism experiment. And just paying some attention here, it takes 10 minutes and 27 seconds to run. Its only situation in which you can run it is flying low. No other situation, but it is biome specific while flying low. So you can go over different places and fly low. You got to collect, takes 10 minutes to collect. One important thing to note here is the data size, 38 megabytes of data that this generates. That's a lot. Just to sort of put that into perspective, this cockpit is now set up to store 2 megabytes of data. Putting it up to its max is 8 megabytes of data. So you kind of get the idea. 32 megabytes of data is a lot. So we got to think about how we're going to store that or transmit that. How quickly does it, you know, maybe the best plan is not to store it. Maybe the best plan, whoops, sorry. Where'd it go? Oh, got to go here. Maybe the best, I was going to put on enough storage to store it, but maybe the best plan is to transmit it. It creates data at 60.61 kilobytes per second. To transmit, I would have to use this antenna, the Communitron 16S. What's the transmission rate of that? Transmission rate is 2.2 kilobytes per second. Okay. So let me just verify that I'm not missing something. This is 60.61. So this can't nearly transmit quick enough. So that's going to be a problem. Okay, so we need to store it. All right, so we need to store 32 megabytes of data, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get the QB probe core, and we're going to stick that on the front. And the QB, unlike the other probe cores, Kerbalism gives you a nice use for this thing. The QB can go up to, whoops, 32 megabytes of data, right? So that would be enough to store this thing. I'm going to actually put on 2 of these. We'll put one here. Actually, I'm going to put another one right on top. Well, no, you know what? I'll put them at the back. And we're going to turn it to... Yeah, let's turn them both to 24. Because I might have other experiments running besides this one. And then the way I'm going to kind of cheat my way around this is if I take me the Mark 1 fuel can, put it on there, grab this, and, you know, there you go. Never see him again. So that's all I'm going to do. If there's experiments on it, let's see. What do I want to run for the experiments? I do want to run the thermometer. Yeah, and I do want to run that stuff. So let's see. We can run the temperature scan and the telemetry report. I can also run... I can reconfigure this other one. There's no sense having both of those. All that stuff's for space. Geiger counter. Doesn't matter. Where's the atmospheric pressure scanner? Can't you... Oh, no. Telemetry, too hot. Geiger. Oh, okay. Never mind. So this one will do none. I was going to the barometer, but there isn't one. Boop, boop, boop. So that one's just there for data. So now I got data storage. There we go. Never to be seen again. It's an internal hard drive system. Okay, I'm also going to need a barometer. Barometer. Where are we? There it is. Barometer. Kind of tuck that there. Okay, so we'll turn that on. Turn the wing experiment on. Turn the crew report on. And that should... Did I turn on? Shoot. Now I can't remember if I turned on the... And I turned on the temperature report and that. Good, 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 good. Okay, so that should be good. Let's tuck that out of the way, tuck that out of the way. The other thing that's nice about the crew cabin is it also gives me some external storage. So what I'm going to actually put in there as well, under cargo, because I've yet to do this on the surface of Kerbin, is the EVA experiment. So we'll get somebody to do that. So now this thing is all scienced up. Now we got to get it to fly. And so what I was thinking... I wanted to build something. I want something that can scoot. That's really what I'm thinking. So I do now have the Wheesley jet engine. Back here. There we go. Which is a much more powerful engine than the little Juno engine. It also has a reverse thrust mode, which is great. And what I was thinking about was actually like... really doing this. Like, I want to build something that I can really... I want to, with the tech I got, to be able to break speed records and all kinds of things like that. So that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about. You know, it's going to need some air intakes. We'll put an air intake at the front. We'll put air intakes there. That's going to go like a bat out of hell. Of course, right now, it ain't going to do much of anything. It doesn't have wings. So let's take a look at what we have for wing parts. I do now have... I have a lot of good wing parts now. I got a lot of good aerodynamic parts. Let's take my checklist out of here for a bit. It's getting in my way. Let's arrange these by mass again. I do now have these swept wings. Feels funny, like on the stock tech tree, these are pretty low on the list of parts, but maybe they might be better. Yeah, let's get the mass and the lift and fold. I'm thinking some swept wings. We'll adjust these so that the windows aren't covered, and we'll kind of tuck them back this way a little bit. We'll have to do some beautifying on this. I do also have... I have this tail fin. Well, that's the same tail fin that's on the Juno. That's nothing new. But what I also have, that's really rather huge. I have this tail, these winglets. Actually, that looks all right. I'm going to go with that. Is that straight? That's straight. And I can also use those for elevators here. Two of them, obviously. That's starting to look more. It's okay. We need some control surfaces on the wings. I have these Elevon ones. Is that all I got? That's all I got. So nothing too fancy. Like that. Yep. What are these wings like? I mean, I could get into building... You know, I shouldn't really adjust my plan partway through, but I could build... This is not the thing. I'm just sort of looking to see, would I rather have wings that are like that? Take this away. It's getting in there. No, you know what? Let's try what I got. Let's try what I got. I think this is kind of working. Kind of working. This thing should have a pretty healthy thrust to weight too. Yeah, this thing's gonna scoot. All right, let's adjust the position of that center of lift. So I like to get them, the center of lift and the center of mass kind of in line. So we're gonna try and see if we can make this not, it's gonna look stupid. Okay, so I don't want stuff sticking out. It's gonna have to come forward a bit just to get away from, just so it doesn't look terrible around the engines. And then we're also gonna have to move this one. This is gonna have to go back. Back. And sometimes I get way too concerned with profiles. Things like that to make sure it looks okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay, landing gear. I now have retractable landing gear, which makes me happy. Put one of these at the front. And we'll put a couple of them at the back. Do I want them on the wings or on... I like to get a really nice wide footprint for these, but I'm worried that that's going to be... Oh, I can see the wings look bad here anyway. I'm going to adjust this. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to put them on the tanks. I don't... there's too much of a difference between these two. And I could tuck this one up, but then it's going to go right into the fuselage. I don't like that, so... And I don't want to bring the main wings any further downwards. This is really in the way. So what we're going to do here, let's get another pair. Put them there. And you like to position these so they're a little bit behind the center of mass. Not too close to the center of mass, or else your plane will have a tendency to fall backwards on the runway. Those already might be a little bit too close. But you want to be fairly close to the center of mass, because if you're not, you'll have trouble pitching up. It's got to kind of imagine pivoting on these wheels when you pitch up to take off. It's, well, we'll see. We'll most certainly be testing this. And then what I like to do is on the runway, I want it to be slightly pitched upwards. Well, this is going to be exactly flat, of course. So what we're going to do is just move these guys a little bit into the fuselage, not a lot. And you know what? I am going to move them outwards a bit too. A little bit of a wider... As long as it doesn't look stupid. That looks okay. Let's take the mass thing away. And if we just down. Yeah, I think that should pitch up just ever so lightly. I don't know. I think it might be onto something already. What's the delta V of this thing like? 54,000 meters. So this thing will have a lot of delta V. It'll be able to fly a long distance, though I probably won't use it for that because it feels, if anything, a little on the short and stumpy side, but I don't know, might be okay. Okay, let's adjust these aerodynamic surfaces. So this is going to be for the roll. We'll bring that down to about 6%. This is going to be for the yaw. We'll put that around 6% or so. We might adjust this later. This is good. These are for pitch. And 6. I'll put them all at 6% for now. I think we're going to give this a test. So there's Jebediah. What's the cargo situation? Jebediah doesn't need this. We've got to put some ladders and stuff on it so they can get in and out too. But let's okay, this is, give it a name. This is the Wheesley 3 for its 3 Wheesley engines. Let's save this and we're going to simulate. So this is a simulation. If things crash, well, that's kind of why you do simulations. All right. Okay, brakes on, lights on, view to chase. Be on there, and yeah, I can't believe I'm still on this ground runway. I should just upgrade the runway just out of principle, even if I don't need it yet. SAS on, throttle up, brakes off. Let's punch it. See what Jebediah thinks of this thing. Up would be nice. It's not pitching up very well. Might need some canards at the front or something. It really doesn't want to pitch up. It's really stuck on the runway. Okay. Might switch these out for some canards at the front. There it goes. Okay, gear down. I mean, it was over 200 meters per second before it... Oh my gosh. Okay, so, yeah. That's why we test. Oh, this is really not very aggressive on the pitch. Oh, gosh. That might have been part of the problem. Okay, let's put them up to 15. But this might be better off with canards at the front rather than these elevators at the back. The elevators might be too close to the center of mass. Ugh. Okay, what about the roll? What's roll like? Roll's not... You know what? I think these control surfaces are just very small for such a small plane. Or for such a heavy plane. It's a heavy, stumpy plane. I think I need more aggressive control surfaces. And yaw? Yeah, yaw's not aggressive enough either. This up to 12. So I have that now at 12. Whoa, that's the roll. Okay, these are now at 12, and these are at 15. Seems to be doing all right. Throttle up, Jeb. Over. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, I have my cap lock on too. That doesn't help. Okay. That's all right. That's all right. How about if I turn off? It's a little nose heavy, but you want it a little nose heavy. All right. Let's restart this. Restart the simulation. I'm going to turn up the authority limiters on those control surfaces before taking off again. See if that helps. All right, so there we go. Try this again. T, Z, view to chase. Lights on for no apparent reason. So we're going to put these up. I think I had this at 12. No, 15. That's right, on these. And this authority, I think I had at around 12. And rudder authority I had on 12. Let's see. Okay, brakes off. Throttle up. There we go. Let's see if this is a little better. I still think I'm going to have to be moving these control surfaces. I don't like that great big angle there, but look, like I'm pitched right up and it doesn't want to take off. I'm over 150. I'm off the runway too. Okay, that's just not going to work. Let's terminate the simulation. We got to come up with a different plan. We're not going to take off at 150 meters per second. Benjamin says, I don't know why I don't have the wireframe when using KRASH. Oh, you do have the option turned on. Oh, I don't know what to say then, Benjamin. Oh, I kind of do like that wireframe for the simulations. What? Where's the mass? Okay, where are these aerodynamic control surfaces? Again, what I need, I think, are some sort of canards at the front. What I don't have... I'm not happy with the control surfaces I do have. I especially like... Sorry. There we go. I especially like the little wings. For making rudders and control surfaces and stuff, and I just don't have them. Alright, mass lift. That's probably mass. There. What if I just took these off? And then just rolled these backwards. Even further than they already are. Like that. Oh, wow. That's, well, I don't know. It looks okay. I don't like how far down... Well, I can move the wings up. There's no reason for them to be down like that now. Let's move them up. That might be better. I have to make sure our pilot can still get out. Slide these down a little bit to make sure they're not in the way of the pilot. Maybe up a little bit here. Probably going to have to move those landing gear. Maybe not. Maybe not. Part of the issue is I might have had those landing gear too far back. That's another possibility. Move them a little forward. See what that's like. Alright. Let's again adjust control authorities. So this guy, let's get rid of our for goodness sakes checklist. There we go. I think I had it up to like here 11. This guy as well, I want it up a little higher. And these guys, let's put them around the same. Let's put them at 10. This is for pitch now. So we've made the switch from elevators to canards. See if that makes us a happier plane. Still looks good. And looking good is what's important. I will be adding a ladder, Rob DeVos. Yes, gotta add ladders, gotta add lights as well. But first thing I want to do is just make sure everything it flies. And then we'll kit it out. Okay, brakes. There. U. T. Z. Alright, jab. Boom. Hopefully this will take off a fair amount easier. See, there you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what's the pitch? See, now it's got way too much pitch authority. Way too much pitch authority. Let's bring that down to 5. That's better. And roll authority. It's not bad. It can come down too. I think because now all the control... Let's slow down. all the control surfaces are further away from the center of mass, so they're all providing a lot more action than they did before. But yeah, see, everything can come down now. Whoa. Okay, so what did I do? I got these guys at 6? Those are at 6. This is at 6. This is at 5. Let's put it at 6, and now everything's at 6. Okay, let's turn around. Let's see if we can land. Why haven't you upgraded the runway? That is an excellent question. Kermie asks, why have you not upgraded the runway? It hasn't been necessary yet is the answer, but to be honest, it looks so stupid that I think I will. I think it's like 75,000 Kerb bucks to upgrade the runway, which is really very little in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so I got to remember to adjust those control authority. Otherwise, I think we got ourselves a plane here. I think this is pretty good. Okay, coming to the runway. Oh, and I also want to set up the reverse thrust. The reverse thrust is great. Speaking of which, I'm coming to the runway. I should be slowing down. Oh, I'm noticing... Oh, I don't like this action happening here. Do you see that? Have to see if I can stiffen this up a little bit. What if... Auto strut to the heaviest part? It's better. A little faster. If I auto strut the other side. That's much better. Okay, so I'll have to remember to fix that by auto strutting. Okay, gear. That would be a good idea. Yep. Way ahead of you, Benjamin. Benjamin's saying the auto strut. There is about now a 10-second delay. I've turned the lag down a little bit, but there's now about a 10-second delay in the chat. For those people in the chat. I don't have it down any further than that to instant because, be honest, most of the time there's a delay in my brain. I am falling. This thing, I didn't pay attention to what its stall speed was, but it's coming down pretty heavy. Hence why we simulate. Okay, let's... Wait, I did simulate this, right? I didn't hit launch, did I? That was a simulation, was it not? Oh, no. Oh, no. Did I not hit simulate? Did I hit launch instead? I didn't hit simulate. I hit launch instead. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I gotta take off. It's this kind of stupidness that really I've got to stop. I got to put the revert to flight back in. I took it off to try and keep me honest, but it's keeping me from doing really, really, really dumb things. What time is it right now? It is day 59, 4:38. So let's see if we can find a save that was reasonably close to all that. 4:30. Oh, there's the persistent file, but that's... Tell me that was before. Oh my gosh! I hit launch in the V. Yeah, I did. No, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get into the settings. I'm gonna turn on revert. Kind of stupid interface issues. If it's a design issue, I'll live with it. If it's a flying mistake, I'll live with it. If it's a stupid, no, that is debris. Okay, let's see what else we got. But if it's a stupid just interface issue like that on me, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna let Jeb die because of something colossally dumb like that. That's just way too sad. There has better be a save in here. Well, you know what? I think... Because unfortunately as well, Jib is in need of a contract. Other than the persistent file, I don't think I have another save. I'm just going by the dates. It's day 59. You know what I'm going to do? I don't have a save, and I'm not going to fix it now. I don't have a recent enough save, but I'm going to bring Jebediah back. I'm not going to accept that. Because, and then I'm going to get in and change, put it back in, revert to flight on the settings. Cancel. We'll recover this stuff. Resume. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to let Jeb die in as stupid and as lame a way as that. So what we'll do instead, unfortunately, and I also think, yeah, we have contract parameters fail because Jeb's required for that flight contract. So I'm going to put that whole flight contract on hold. And what we're going to do for the, I'm going to get into the next part of the mission. We'll do the Jeb Val flight thing next week. But what we're going to do, and in fact, while I am on this, why don't I upgrade the runway like people are suggesting? What I'm going to do instead is we're going to plan our mission to Eve. That's what we're going to do. We're going to finish off the stream, at least get started with the planning of the mission to Eve. Now, there are ways, I want to just show people how you can do this. Alarm Clock gives you a nice feature for looking for launch windows. If we get into here, for instance, Planet of Origin, I want to change this to Kerbin. And if I'm interested in finding, let's see here, going to Eve, and notice you can look here and you can see all the launch ones that are coming up. My transfer time to my next Eve window is in 1 year, 66 days. You can change this from formula to model. I would suspect model is the more accurate one, though I'm not 100% sure exactly what it's doing. We can add the alarm, and you can see here I got a transfer for Kerbin to Eve coming up in 1 year and 62 days. But I have a mod that does a better job to that called the Transfer Window Planner. It's this very colorful icon down here. And this gives you just way more options for planning these transfers. So I'm going to finish off this stream talking about this mod. I love this mod. I think it works great. So here we are. We're going to be in Kerbin. Let's say we're going to leave Kerbin in a 90-kilometer orbit, though it doesn't quite matter what you're going to do. And I want to go to Eve like that. And also, I'm not going to do an insertion because I'm going to do an impact with Eve. It says here, example of flyby, but we're going to do that. So we're going to take the insertion out, so it won't be calculating the cost for doing the insertion. You can set a window for what it's going to do. It's going to search through the future between year 1, day 59, which is right now, to year 3, day 59, and you can adjust this. And it's going to look for your best opportunity to go to Eve. So we're going to do plot it. There it is, and we get this really colorful, pretty graph that at the beginning is crazy intimidating. There are actually 3 axes on this graph. On the bottom axis is our departure date, when we're going to leave, starting now and then moving on into the future. And on this axis is the delta, or the travel time, starting from a minimum of 85 days to get to Eve to a maximum of 255 days to get to Eve. And the colors are representing the cost of the transfer. How much in delta V, meters per second is it going to cost? There's a scale here on the side to give you an idea. You can see up towards the red there. It's crazy expensive, 11,643 meters per second. But if you want to get to Eve fast, that option is available to you. And then what it's doing is it's highlighting the cheapest one that it finds within this range. So my cheapest one is right here. It's highlighting it. The total cost to get to Eve is 1,061 meters per second, which is great. And in fact, I suspect that this window corresponds to this one, or at least it's very close to it. But what I love is if you're not happy with this and you want to say get there sooner, you can actually explore, well, what if I wanted to get there sooner? And the cooler the colors, the more blue the color is, the cheaper it is. And if you notice right now, we have a bluish region right here. And if you look at the highlight there, it says, what's that? 1,538 meters per second. Well, that's less than 500 meters per second more than this cheapest one here, and I get to leave now. So what I think I will do instead is put a highlight right here. I saw that 1,005, there. right there. Pick that one. Yes, it's more expensive than this one, but it's not crazy more expensive. If you want to actually dial this in even quicker, what you can do, I was just thinking about this, is if you don't make this scale go so far to the right. Instead, like say, okay, what about if I only want to go to day 271? So year 1, day 271. And replot this. Now it's only plotting that first section there, and it's picking out this one that's right now. And it's 1,514 meters per second to get to Eve right now. There's a wonderful button to add this with Kerbal Alarm Clock. It's integrated with Kerbal Alarm Clock. And so now I have this maneuver. Actually, it looks like it's in the... Oh, I know why I did that. If I get into the details of it, let's delete this. Actually, no. Close the alarm. It's saying it's right now, but if I get into the details of this, I think I should be able to edit this. Kill warp at message. No, can't I edit that? Oh, there it is. Edit it. And okay, let's refix this. It just put it at let's see, Kerbal Alarm Clock. This is what I screwed up with. Isn't there a... screw it. I'll let it go. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that it's coming up now. We'll do it. But it's giving me all the details to leave right now. So what I think I'll do is I'll do that. Now I'm looking at the time. Yeah, we're about... Yeah, we're a little bit into the stream. I don't think I'll get to the build with this just now. But what I think I will do is start next week on Monday to get into building an Eve probe that will have 1,515 meters per second at least in it, launch it right away, send it on its way to Eve, and smack into Eve. And in fact, while I'm at it, I should be also sending something and smacking it into Gilly, because clearly Gilly is going to be about the same kind of a cost. Yeah, I'm missing... Oh, copy detail buttons. Rob DeVos says copy... Oh. There's something in these settings so that it's giving me like a 5-day warning. That's why it's 5 days in the past. You know what? I will figure that out between now and then. And we'll send our way off to Eve. So in the meantime, I am going to thank people for watching. Thank people for watching. We'll get Jebediah back. We'll reset on that one there, and I'm going to add in a revert to launch button so that I won't be making that mistake again. So rest assured, Jebediah is fine. Have yourselves a great weekend. If it's a holiday weekend for you, enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you all again on Monday. Bye, everybody.